Welcome back to the session 2 of module 1. In this particular session, we will be having a look at ChatGPT in detail. We will be seeing its strengths, its limitation, and its practical application for a doctor or for a healthcare staff. Retake. Welcome back to the session 1 of let's go. Welcome back to the session 2 of module 1. In this particular session, we will be seeing ChatGPT in detail. We will be having a detailed look at its strength, what are the main limitations of ChatGPT, and how exactly it will be useful for you as a doctor or as a nurse or a researcher or a healthcare provider. Okay. Out of all the AI tools, ChatGPT is the most popular out there, and it has actually made AI that much popular among the masses, right? So we will be seeing how ChatGPT can be initially. We will be seeing on how ChatGPT can be used in research, right? So the first task before going forward with the research, always we will be thinking about picking a topic which is really unique, right? They are regarding our specialty. So I have a challenge for you. So think about how you can tackle this using ChatGPT. So the challenge is like this. Brainstorm 10 research questions related to neonatal seizures using ChatGPT, applying the RACE prompt framework that we have just learned. And there is some criteria on the research questions. It's like the research question should be innovative and should fill the existing research gap. Research gap means those research topics in which very few number of studies are already present. There may be some topics in which too much number of studies are already there from your area. So when you're trying to publish it in a Q1 or Q2 journal, they will tell like, okay, there are, for example, the topics like COVID-19 and all, they will tell you like already there are too much research, so articles on this, so we are not interested in publishing it, right? But there are certain topics in which very less number of studies are published right now, maybe from your area or maybe globally, so that they will readily accept you, like in the preliminary evaluation part. So one good thing regarding ChatGPT is it has already read most of the articles that are available in PubMed and Google Scholar. So it clearly knows like which all areas have a good number of articles and which all areas are lacking the publications. So we are making use of this particular knowledge of ChatGPT to tackle this scenario. So earlier we saw when you are go to ChatGPT and in a normal tone we can directly tell ChatGPT to brainstorm 10 research questions related to neonatal seizures, and it will definitely give you 10 topics. But these topics may not be unique; they may not be that much innovative. It won't have that attractiveness, right? So obviously, if you apply the RACE prompt framework, then it will definitely have all the unique qualities that you want them as per this particular challenge. So I'll give you a few seconds to just think about how you can structure the prompt. Then I will show you the correct answer. So remember, the first part is R. So you should remember like who should be the best person to help you regarding this. So that should form the first part of the sentence of your prompt. Then think about the action part, what exactly you want the ChatGPT to do. Then you need to go tell your context or the backstory, like you need to tell more about yourself. And finally, how you want the answer. That's the execution part. Okay. So think about this and just imagine how the prompt will look like. All right. Fine. So now I'll show you the correct answer. Now this is the exact same prompt that I'm looking for. So here you will see like it's really long because it contains all the 4 parts of a RACE prompt framework. So as a role, who's that role that ChatGPT should assume for answering this, I'm telling like pretend that you are a veteran neonatologist who has published thousands of articles in top medical journals. So soon after hearing this, ChatGPT will be so happy. Instantly, it will take the shape of a veteran neonatologist who is a very famous researcher. So it will now, from that point onwards, it will start answering you from the shoes of that person, right? Now I'll explain the backstory about myself or the context. So I'm telling like I'm a neonatologist from Canada and I'm planning to conduct a medical research related to neonatal seizures. So that's my backstory. Then comes the action and execution part. So I'm telling like suggest 10 research questions that are highly related to this topic and can be used in conducting a groundbreaking study and fills the existing research gap in this topic. So these two are the main keywords. One is groundbreaking study, or you can mention innovative study, and then the keyword filling the existing research gap. So on reading that word, ChatGPT will instantly go to its database. It will think for some time. Then it will check all the topics related to internal seizures and see how many articles are already there. Then it will filter the results based on the criteria, that is innovativeness and the very less number of studies already published, and you will get the answer. So I'll do one thing. I'll copy the prompt. Okay. So I'm copying the prompt and I'm moving to ChatGPT. Okay. So before going to ChatGPT, I think some of you may be using ChatGPT for the first time, or most of you will be definitely using. But I just want to introduce the entire window of ChatGPT. After that, I will be teaching you how exactly you can run this prompt. All right. So when you log into ChatGPT for the first time, you will be taken to a page like this. So here is the chat area where you can enter the prompt. And on the left side, you can see a sidebar like this. So this sidebar can be opened and closed like this. And you will see there's an option called new chat, which you can create whenever you want to open a new conversation. And there's an option called search chat. When you click on that, all the chats will appear at the bottom, and here you can enter the keyword. So whatever chat you had with ChatGPT will be auto saved. So you don't need to manually click on any button like we usually do in Microsoft Word and all. Everything will be auto saved. And all those chats will be shown on the left side. As you can see here, there are so many chats here. So they will be automatically saved on the left side. And you can see on the search chat area, you can search whatever topic that you want, and that will be automatically displayed. And there is something called GPTs here. So we will be seeing GPTs in detail later on. And below that, here is a chat history, all the previous chats. And within the ChatGPT chat area, you can see some extra options. So on the left side, you will see one plus button. On clicking that, there are some extra features. So we'll be seeing these extra features later on. One is called deep research. There's an option to create image, agent mode. Then there is study and learn, web search, and so on. So presently, I'm not activating any specific option. And there is also an attach button also. Like you can attach images, attach PDF, attach Word files, etc. And on the right side, you will see there is an option called dictate, in which you can directly give the instruction to ChatGPT vocally, and it can automatically do the voice detection and will give you the answer, and so on. Okay. And this is a dedicated voice mode. And there is one secret feature here, which I'll tell you what exactly this is at the end. And if in case you are using a paid version of ChatGPT, you have the option to choose between the models. So that option is available to the top area. You can see ChatGPT 5.1, and right next to that, there's a downward pointing arrow. Click on the downward pointing arrow and you will see three options: auto, instant, and thinking. So auto means it automatically, there are two models available. So that is, one is instant answers and thinking answers, and auto is the automatic mode. So it is depending on your question, it automatically determines whether whether it should use the instant model or the thinking model. Instant model means it's not using much of its processing power. Most of the case, it's usually used in the scenarios in which you want a shallow answer. So automatically it will give you the answer without giving much thought. On the other hand, suppose if you are attaching a complex formula, or you are telling it to do a data analysis or to calculate a sample size, which requires some amount of thinking, that time the thinking model will be activated. Okay. Now, if you are using a free version of ChatGPT automatically gives more preference to give you instant answers than thinking answers. So because of this, reasoning power of ChatGPT won't be used that much in the answers, and there's a chance that for the calculations and all, there can be some wrong answers. But in case you are having a paid model, a paid version of ChatGPT, you can always select thinking model, and every time when it's giving you the answer, it gives much thought about how it will give a lot of reasoning on how exactly the answer should be reached, and it automatically shows you the thinking process, and most of the time the answer will be accurate. So in this case, I will activate the thinking model. It will work even without thinking, but let's see how exactly the thinking model works. Okay. So I pasting the prompt that we have that we are planning to use for brainstorming the research topic related to neonatal seizures. So I'm clicking on this. Now, what will happen is ChatGPT will start thinking like what are the things, like what are the things to be considered. If you want to see the thinking process, you simply click on thinking, and on the right side you will see what exactly ChatGPT is thinking on giving the answer. So you can see it is telling me like I'm looking up recent research on neonatal seizures to get the latest on classification, genetics, all those topics, and among them it is planning to select 10 advanced research questions that address the gaps in knowledge. It's even going to various articles also. Like you can see it's searching in PubMed, searching in Science Direct, MDPI, and 19 more sites. So, ChatGPT is actually a supercomputer. So it can process information very fast. So even though we will take maybe hours to go through 20 such articles, ChatGPT was able to read all these 19 plus 22 articles instantly. And based on that, it was able to identify the gaps. You can see it's already identified the gaps, and it starts decided to give you the research topic. Now you can see on the right side, it's instantly giving you the answers. Okay, so I can close this, and it's you can see it thought for 56 seconds. After this, I will show you how exactly it gives you the answer on the non-thinking model or the instant model. Okay, so that you can get a comparison. So you can see this is question 1 or the first research question. In neonates with seizures, does an early precision diagnostic bundle reduce time to etiological diagnosis and improve 24-month neurodevelopmental outcomes compared with standard stepwise workup? And why it is telling me some justification on why this is innovative and why it thinks like this is a likely study design for the topic. So that rationale for the study is also included in this why part. So this is a second research question that's on seizure burden versus etiology, treating of all electrographic seizures versus clinical. Like that, it's giving me 10 research questions. So I'm sure that all of them will be excellent. And you can see it's even giving me some references also. For this particular answer, it's giving me one reference from Nature, then another reference from JAMA, and the third reference from PubMed. So it's so that it's actually adding some more value into the whatever it is suggesting, right? So that's the idea behind how you can use the thinking model of ChatGPT to brainstorm excellent research questions regarding your specialty. Suppose if you are not from neonatology or from another specialty, you can always change it here. Suppose if it's not on neonatal seizures, it's on something else. So it's on, say, it's on, you are a medicine specialist. You want to conduct some research on Alzheimer's. So here you will modify accordingly. So instead of neonatologist here, you will mention like you are a veteran internal medicine specialist. Then here you will mention your exact designation, and here you will put the topic, right? Like this, you will be able to do the modification, and you will be able to get excellent answers. Now, within the ChatGPT answers, when you go back to the prompt and answers, the prompt is always editable. Like not all prompts are editable. The last prompt that you have entered will be editable. In this case, I have entered only one prompt here. So you can see one pencil button here. Okay. And suppose if I am giving a follow-up prompt telling like out of these 10 research topics, which one is the best one? Which one is the best, in your opinion? Okay, so if I'm asking a follow-up question like this, I can continue from here. Okay, now you can see it's editable here. But when I go back here, most probably, now I think it's still editable. I'll see whether after getting the answer, whether it's editable or not. Previously, it was not allowing me to edit the second last or previous question. So let's see whether it's editable or not. So it's giving me, it's selecting Q3 as the best one. Okay, so we'll wait for the answer to finish. Okay, so the answer is finished. So let me see whether it's editable now. Oh, that's excellent. So I think ChatGPT has got a very recent upgrade. Previously, it was 5.0 previously. Now it's 5.1. So I think with 5.1 onwards, they are allowing us to edit all the questions. Previously, only the last question was only editable. Now I think everything is editable. Okay. Now there's a reason why I added a follow-up question like this. Okay. So in this particular series of chats, I had a chat here, and here is I had a follow-up chat. right? So this set of chat, I can have unlimited number of chats like this, and the set of a chats related to one particular topic, this is called a thread, okay? And in one thread, suppose in the initial part, I am mentioning like pretend that you are a veteran neurologist. I am a neurologist from Canada. So I'm mentioning that in my first chat. So on the follow-up chats, on the subsequent chats, I don't need to mention these again and again because ChatGPT will remember whatever you have mentioned in a previous chat within a thread. Okay, but things will be different if you click on new chat. Okay, so when you click on a new chat, ChatGPT will completely forget what you have mentioned previously. So this time, if you want ChatGPT to give you the answer based on your backstory as a neonatologist from Canada, then you have to mention it again. Okay, but whenever you revisit your previous thread, like you can see my previous thread regarding the neutral seizures is available in the chat history. So when I click on this, that previous chat will be restored. And if I ask my third question here I don't need to mention all my backstory once again because ChatGPT already knows all the details about myself, which it has remembered from my previous chats. Again, I don't need to tell ChatGPT to assume the role of a researcher because in this thread, it is acting like a researcher. So in case if I want to change the that model, like that role of ChatGPT, then I need to mention, say I am now attaching one questionnaire related to neonatal seizure and telling it to translate to say one particular language, then I have to change the role because presently the role is that of a researcher who may not be the best person to translate something. So I need to tell ChatGPT to change the role of a person who will be the like a teacher who is the best person to translate. So instantly the role will change. So on role change, you have to mention it specifically. Otherwise, it will remember whatever role that you assigned it here. Okay. And another thing is whenever you are getting answers, at the bottom of the answer, there are some options. So there is one option called rewrite. Suppose if you don't like the answer, you can click on the rewrite button. And if you want to share it with someone, there is a share button here that you can click on. And ChatGPT will instantly create a publicly shareable link. Okay, so it creates a box like this, and there is an option called copy link. So when you click the copy link, you can see now ChatGPT has created a link and it's automatically copied that link into my history or into my clipboard. So I can share this link with my friends in WhatsApp or email it to them, and they can instantly click on the link and they can read the entire thread. Okay, so that's a very useful sharing feature. And suppose if I want to copy this particular chat into my Microsoft Word on the Google Docs, preserving the exact same formatting. You can see this one is in H2 subheading format, and there are some like lines are in bullet format. So in that case, I can click on this copy button here. You should never copy like this. Okay, so I have seen so many of the participants, they were copying like this. Never copy like this. If you copy like this, there are some formatting errors in the when you paste it to Word or PowerPoint or into Google Docs. So always use the copy button at the bottom of the chat. Okay, so click on the copy button and instantly you will see the copy button will be showing like there's a tick mark will appear. Like you can see the tick mark will appear. And then when you paste into Google Docs, I'll just show you. I'm opening a new Google Docs. So the same thing will happen if you copy to our Word also. So this is a brand new Google Docs. If I paste it here, okay, so you can see exact same formatting has been preserved and even the links are also preserved. You can see this particular suggestion was based on this reference from MDPI, and this was one reference from Wiley Online Journal. And if I click on this, automatically I will be able to visit the link also. Like when I click on this, that link will be clickable so that I can go to that journals page and do some cross checking also whether whatever it is mentioned is true or not. Okay, so that's a copying option. So these are some of the basics of ChatGPT. So let me go back to my original question. Okay, so I think you got an idea, right? How you can use a race prompt framework in framing the required prompt for tackling a research scenario or tackling a scenario related to your clinical practice. All right. Now we'll move to the second part. Say you already have the topic with you, you have decided the title. Now you want to create an outline for your proposal, which you want to submit to the ethical committee of your institution. For that, you need to create a synopsis, right? So you need to have a detailed write-up regarding that. What are the topics, what are the objectives, a brief introduction and review literature, and a detailed methodology, including the sample size calculation, your study design, sampling method, statistical analysis, and so on, right? So I have a scenario for you regarding this. So we'll see how this can be tackled. So the scenario is like this. You are planning to conduct a case control study. So remember, it's not a simple study, it's a case control study. And the topic is on association between maternal hypertensive disorders and neonatal arterial ischemic stroke in your country. Use AI to generate the outline for your research proposal, applying the RACE prompt framework. So obviously, when you think about this, now the complexity of the challenge is increasing, right? Previously, I was only asking you to just brainstorm for a few research topic. Now I'm telling you to write the entire research proposal. So obviously, for many of you, you will be having in this particular like mindset. Oh, like this instructor is giving me challenges of increasing difficulty. So how will I tackle this, right? So, and as you know, the prompt engineering is getting complex and become more complicated, right? So there's an easy way to tackle this, because even though we want it to be written in a RACE prompt framework, but as the complexity increases, it will be very difficult for you to write. So I too got stuck by the same question. When I started exploring AI and when I discovered this RACE prompt framework, so when I started creating my own prompt, I found it very difficult to create excellent prompts in this particular framework, especially for complex tasks. Okay, then I got an idea. It's almost like that Newton's moment when that apple fall on his head. So I was just thinking, AI is really good at with most of the things, right? Then why can't you use AI itself to create the prompt for you? Obviously, I'm sure that AI will do a very nice job. So my idea is like, I will tell the AI to create a prompt for me to tackle this particular scenario. And AI is supposed to give you an excellent prompt. Then I'll copy the prompt based on this RACE prompt framework. I will copy the prompt and will run to the new chat in AI, and AI should give me the answer. So I want AI to create the prompt as well as the answer. So that's the thought I had. So what I had done is like, there is so this is the idea. So obviously, when I check that, it's working perfectly. AI is able to give excellent prompt for me based on my requirement. So I just want to help you create an ready to create prompting solution using AI. So what I had done is I went to one particular section of ChatGPT called GPTs. Okay, now GPTs is something really interesting. I'm sure that many of you might not have are familiar with GPTs. Now, GPTs is a particular section of ChatGPT, which is almost like an app store or a Play Store. You know, in our phones, depending on whether you are using Android or iPhone, there will be an app store or a Play Store, right? In that, there are so many apps available. Right, just like that within ChatGPT, if you are a paid user of ChatGPT, you are allowed to create custom apps within ChatGPT. Now, these custom apps are customized versions of ChatGPT, which are trained for one particular purpose, and it is custom coded. It's like already prompt is loaded into that, and people can release that in the store of ChatGPT, and the store of ChatGPT is called GPTs. And like within the store, everything is free. There is no option to monetize anything. So there are millions of GPTs available, which are custom created by different ChatGPT users all around the world to help all other fellow ChatGPT users. And these are made for various specific tasks. And the best part is you don't need to give the prompt, because whatever that particular GPT was supposed to do, that was custom prompted by the person who has created it. You just need to give the main part only, and based on that, the GPT will process it. Okay, so I will show you a demo so that you will get an idea. So what I had done is I am having a paid version of ChatGPT. So I decided to create a custom GPT for creating the prompt for you, almost like a calculator. It's like you give the numbers and the calculator will do the calculation for you. Just like that, I created a custom GPT in which you can simply tell the that particular custom GPT to create whatever that you create prompt for whatever that task that you need, and instantly it creates an elaborate prompt based on the RACE prompt framework. So your job is simply give the main topic. It will create the prompt, copy the prompt and create a new chat, paste this newly created prompt into that, and instantly it will give you excellent answers. All right. So I'll show you how exactly it's being done. So let me open my chat GPT. I'm creating a new chat. Okay. So fresh chat. Okay. So it's a fresh chat. Now, on the left side, okay, you will see there is an option called GPTs. And there is an option called Explore. Explore is the option in which you can open the GPT store and you can search the that particular type of GPTs within there. So this is the GPT store. Here you can see there are so many types of GPTs available, which are created by people all around the world. So I may name my GPT as Dr. Sharon's AI prompt generator. Okay, so I usually use it regularly, so that's why it's coming me as a suggestion. But in case you want to check it, just search my name. My name is Sharon, so just search Sharon. So it will take a few seconds for the store to load the search results. So we'll wait for the results to appear. And in that you will see my prompt generator will be shown as the second result. So its name is Dr. Sharon's AI prompt generator creates perfect prompt for research and image generation tasks based on the RAISE prompt framework. So I'll click on this and you will be taken to a box like this, which will preview some details. There is some rating. There are some, it has already done 1,000+ conversation with different people. So I'll click on start chat, this particular option. So you will be taken to a page like this. So that custom GPT image is here, right? And these are the area where you can enter your requirement. So only thing you should keep in mind when you're using a prompt generator is it should start like this. The initial part of your chat should begin with create a prompt to. Okay, so that should be the start. After that, you can mention whatever be the requirement. So in my case, in this particular challenge, the requirement was you are planning to conduct a case control study on association between maternal and hypertensive disorders and neonatal arterial ischemic stroke in your country, right? So my requirement is to create an outline for your research proposal. So I will copy this part and just copying to save some time. So I'll start with create a prompt for, and I'll paste it. Okay, so I'll put like for generating the outline, right? That will be better. The outline for your research, I'll change into first person to for my research. Then I'll copy the topic. Okay, which is it's a case control study on this topic, right? So research, which is a which is a case control study on association between maternal hypertensive disorders and neonatal arterial ischemic stroke in Canada. Right? So that's all. We only need to give whatever that we need it to load, and everything will be auto-generated. So I'll just run this. Now you can see instantly it was able to create the entire prompt. So you can see the primary prompt is based on RACE. So RA's role is you are an epidemiology and perinatal research expert specializing in case control study design. So that's a role model. That's a role that is activated. Then A is the action, that is create a complete structured research outline for a case control study on the association between maternal, that's a topic, right? Then the C part, so that's a context part. So study setting is Canada, exposure, outcome, population, everything has been created. And E is that execution part. Now my prompt framework will create multiple outputs. So this is the primary one. You can click on copy code and this will be copied. It will have some variations. Suppose if you want it to expand in this way, you can add this part also into the primary prompt. Okay, so that's the additional part. Then it will create an entire protocol. Then there's a variation, there's a power user upgrade and so on. So in our case, we simply go for the primary version. So I'll copy the code. Then I'll click on new chat so that it will be a completely new chat. Then I'll paste the prompt. So you can see the prompt is really long. Then I will run this. So you can see instantly, this time I went for the instant option. So you can see instead of thinking, it's instantly giving me the answer. So the quality will not be that great. So I'll give it a try with the thinking model also. So instantly it's giving me the background, which I can expand later on. So it's telling me initially I need to mention regarding neonatal arterial ischemic stroke part, then maternal hypertensive disorders, biological plausibility. Then I need to mention something regarding gap in literature, and finally the rationale. And this should be the primary and secondary objectives. And there should be a hypothesis. This is a primary and secondary hypothesis. Study design is obviously I mentioned it should be a case control study. And study setting is Canadian tertiary and regional hospitals. Study period is recommending a long time period, which I can change later on, suggesting 10 years. Then there are some case definitions, case identification, exclusion inclusion criteria, study definition, sampling, matching criteria, exposure definitions, covariates and potential confounders, sample size calculation, then data collection procedure. So, it's an elaborate one. And finally, there will be some ethical consideration, and there is a like a time period table also. Okay. So now you got the entire thing. So if I give a follow-up prompt to convert this into a grant ready protocol, it will definitely expand into a protocol. Now we'll try the same with the our instead of instant, I will go for the thinking option. So this will definitely take some extra time. It might take some 3 to 4 minutes, but the quality will be excellent. So that you will get a clear-cut idea on what exactly is the thinking mode and what exactly is the instant mode. In that instant, you saw that you got the answer instantly. ChatGPT was not thinking much before giving the answer. So again, the answer will be shallow. References were not there, right? Everything was in a superficial one. Now you can see, I'll show you the thinking process. So it's thinking like it automatically understood like the user wants a full outline with no need for up-to-date evidence. Oh, I think I should include an up-to-date evidence part, but that was missing. So it's telling like I didn't specifically mention about up-to-date evidence. So the I don't need to browse. So it's not planning to browse anything. I think I should be editing this. You can edit here, right? So I can stop this, edit here, and we'll tell like with up-to-date evidences so that it will become even better. Okay, so it's giving me the detailed write-up like this. Study design and so on. So let me close this and see. So one good thing regarding the thinking process, this is not becoming a black box. This is one interesting concept in AI. It's called a black box concept in which AI is giving you the answer, but you don't realize the rationale behind why exactly it has given you this answer. Okay, but if you are activating the thinking mode, you can always click on this think part, so that you can exactly read what is the thinking process behind this answer. So in case you are not getting an answer that is up to your expectation, there will be something wrong. In this case, there was a wrong part was I forgot to mention in my this thing that up-to-date evidence need to be added. So let me see. Let me add that button, see how it will be improving. So what I will do is I will stop the chat. Okay. And I will click on the edit option. I'll add a small line, include up-to-date evidences while writing it from Q1 and Q2 journals, which are published in the last 5 years, so that it will be more precise, right? In the last 5 years. Let's see whether it's improving or not. So this time when it start thinking, I'm sure that it will start checking similar articles and will give a better outline. So this is a way you can refine the prompt and we can improve the quality of writing. Now you can see in the previous one, it was not searching anywhere, but you can see now it's searching in PubMed, the Science Direct, and 17 more sites. So if I click on 17 more, it will show the entire list of articles. So you can see all are from high quality journals. There are no low quality sites. Everything is from proper high quality reference sites. So it identified some key studies. You can see there is one Srivastava et al., Song et al. So many Mann et al. So many studies are coming up. Now it's giving me definition for study covariates. Previously, it was trying to giving me answers from its own memory, which may not be accurate all the time. But this time you can see it is actually checking the literature for giving me study definitions and all. So it will be more accurate. And for analysis also, it's actually looking at similar studies to see which is the most probable study design or the data analysis option available. So it's giving me all those options. So this time it took 1 minute to give the answer. Previously, it was only 14 seconds. So now when I look at this, it is giving me a proper title, that is maternal hypertensive disorders and risk of neonatal arterial ischemic stroke, a multi-center case control study in Canada. So you can see my quality has been improved drastically, right? Now there is a background and a current understanding, and now it's giving some proper data also. And since I specifically mentioned last 5 years, so it's actually giving me data from the previous studies, like large cohort studies and meta-analysis. It's clearly identifying the knowledge gaps. It's even adding a rationale. Then this time there are more number of secondary objectives, a proper hypothesis, Okay, study design is better. Study period is still 10 years. I think it want me to conduct a very long study. And there's a proper case definition this time. Last time it was not that detailed one. Now there's a detailed case definition. There's previously I noticed like in the initial one there was only exclusion criteria. This time it has included 3 inclusion, 4 exclusion criteria, which is a good thing. And it has even giving me details regarding how I can select the controls for the study. Now there's a matching criteria is also included. Oh, I'm really happy with the results. So quality is excellent. So it's keep on populating the results. So there are some operational definitions which are based on previous studies. Now there are the covariates part. So you got the idea, right? So whenever it's possible, try to go for the thinking option if it's available. If you are using a free version, you may not be able to select between the models. And always use the prompt generator to get the best perfect prompt. So you don't need to stress too much on how you can structure the prompt based on the race prompt framework. This prompt generator will help you to do that. And this is unlimited. This is absolutely free to use. Okay, so I'm getting the entire thing. And it is assuming some prevalence and all. And based on that, it is doing the sample size calculation. Okay, so let it do its work. So let me show you one more thing regarding the prompt generator. So when you click on the prompt generator, so this is a prompt generator, right? So when you click on the title, there's a downward pointing arrow. So when you click on that, there is an option called, let me unhide it. Okay, so when you click on the downward pointing arrow, you will see an option called keep in sidebar. Okay, so when you click on keep in sidebar, what will happen? Have a look at this area. Presently, this particular prompt generator is not present here. So when I click on keep in sidebar, you can see now it has been added to my sidebar permanently. So next time if I refresh my ChatGPT or when I close and open my ChatGPT, this will be present on the left side. So I can always access it from that area. Okay, and in case you are not using it anymore, again you click on this 3 dots right next to the prompt generator, and there's an option called hide from sidebar. So when you click on that, it will disappear from the sidebar. So that's a way you can keep in sidebar and hide from the, so that you can, it's almost like adding a shortcut for your software that you installed in your desktop, just like that. So that's the idea regarding the prompt generator. So I'm sure that this will be of real help for you. Now let's, there is one more thing regarding the prompt generator. When I created the generator, I made sure that whatever prompt it generates will be compatible with all the AI tools that you are about to learn. Like later on during this module 1, you will be learning about Grok, about Gemini, and you are learning about Claude. So this particular prompt that you develop in ChatGPT prompt generator will be usable for all other AIs. Okay, so this will be a universal one. And another thing is, if you are using a free version of ChatGPT, sometimes you may not be able to see the GPT's option on the left side. Okay, so most of the free users, they are not allowing it. So what we will do is within the course module within this particular LMS, you will see an option of the direct link. Like you can see there is an option called copy link. So I can copy the link of the generator. So we will be providing you the link within this module 1. So you can simply click on that link and you will be able to directly access this prompt generator. Okay. And once you access the prompt generator, ensure that you are clicking on the downward point button, a downward pointing arrow, and click on the keep in sidebar option so that it will be permanently present on your sidebar so that you can use it in future. Okay. So let me proceed further with one more really interesting capability of ChatGPT. Now, this is really unique for ChatGPT. None of the other AI tools are able to do this. So this particular feature that I am about to discuss is exporting your answer into multiple formats, formats like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and PDF. So this will be really helpful for you for creating Excel sheets, creating slide decks, and so on. So the scenario here is you have a timetable like this with you. So you say you are working in a hospital, in a medical college, and your HOD has told you, your head of the department has told you to create a timetable for the classes to be taken for that particular month. So obviously you will be going to Excel or you are going to Google Sheet, and then you will be manually typing. But with help of ChatGPT, you can use do it in an easier way. What you need to do is you simply take a sheet of paper and using your pen, you can just scribble how exactly the timetable should look like. In my case, this is a timetable for various classes that need to be taken for the first year medical students. So I have 3 columns here. You can see the first column is on date, second one is on topics, and third one is on doctors. Now, if you look carefully at the topics or the things that I have mentioned in this particular scribbled paper, you can see I have written in a very bad handwriting. My handwriting is so poor, and in addition to that, I have made so many strike marks here and there, so many corrections here and there. But one really cool feature of all this AI tool is they are excellent at doing OCR. OCR means it can read from images. Okay, so what we will do is we will simply scribble the topic like this, then take a photo of that image using your mobile phone, then attach it to ChatGPT. Okay, so I will do the demo. So scenario is this: create an Excel sheet of the handwritten class timetable using AI. All right. So I'll show you the conversion so that you will get a clear idea on how this can be done. So I will create a new chat. All right. Let me take the instant option. Then I will click on the plus button, and there's an attach option here, right? So you can see I'll click on the attach button. My file manager will open up. So let me visit the area where I have saved the photo. So you can see now I attach that particular photo of the timetable, which I have handwritten, which I have manually written. Now I have attached this, right? And then I give a simple prompt. So the prompt is export the attached table in an Excel file. That's all. So it's a very simple one. So I'll go here and I'll paste it here. And let's see whether it's able to read all the content from this photo and able to recreate an Excel sheet. And let me share my entire screen so that it will be more visible for you. Otherwise, if when it creates Excel sheet and when I open the Excel sheet, you won't be able to see the Excel output. Here you can see instantly, it took very less time, right? So instantly it was able to read everything. And then instead of showing the results here, it showed me a link here. You can see download here, timetable.xlx, right? So I click on this and instantly one file will be downloaded. So you can see one file has been downloaded. So let me open that file and see whether it's accurate or not. Okay, so here is the Excel. Here you can see the entire timetable has been created. So I'll enlarge the size a bit so that it will be easier for you to read. And let me add the table borders also. Here you can see the date has been added here. Exact topics as I have handwritten is added, and the name of the doctors also has been added accurately. Even though my original writing had so many strike marks, it has ignored all those, and despite my handwriting was so pathetic, it was able to read it properly. Like this, you are able to create very detailed Excel sheets, all those Word files and all using ChatGPT. So this is a unique feature of ChatGPT. None of the other tools are able to do this. Like if you tell the same to Gemini or to Grok right now, as of January 2026, it's not possible, but maybe they might add such features later on. But presently, you can make use of ChatGPT for this. In the same way, you can create a slide deck using ChatGPT. What you can do is you can click on new chat. And suppose if you want to create a slide deck or a PowerPoint out of a topic from your standard textbook. So suppose if you have a PDF version of your textbook, you click on the plus button. In the attach option, you can attach your PDF textbook. And there's this attach limit for this particular feature. So maximum size of a textbook that it supports is 512 MB. But most of the time, our textbooks will be below the size. So you can attach that. Then you give the detailed instruction. So say you are an neonatologist and you want to create a detailed write-up on a PowerPoint presentation on a slide deck on neonatal seizures. So you will you can go to the prompt generator and give a prompt. Otherwise, you can manually give, like, assume that you are a neonatology professor. I have a class for undergraduate medical students on the topic of neonatal seizures. Create a slide deck then you can mention the number of slides, like 20 slides or 25 slides on the topic, exactly based on the attached textbook, so that it completely depends on the attached textbook rather than depending on its memory. Then you can also mention what all topics need to be covered. So you can mention this should be the pathophysiology should be included, treatment should be included, prevention should be included. So all those topics need to be included, can be mentioned. And finally, at the end of the prompt, you need to mention, like, once done, export as a PowerPoint file. So when you do that, what will happen is it will go through your PDF textbook, understand where exactly the chapters of PDF, chapters of the neonatal seizures is located within this PDF, then read everything, then will create a very detailed write-up Then based on the write-up, it creates a slide deck and then export it as a PPT file. Only negative side of this approach is entire slide deck will be bland. It's like it will contain so much information, but there won't be any images and there won't be any themes applied. This will be completely white in color with black letters, and you have to manually add a theme. Then you have to manually add the appropriate images. So that's a negative side. But there are some dedicated PowerPoint creation tools based on AI for this. In that, they can directly export, directly create very beautiful PowerPoint, which are vibrant, very beautiful. I'll just show you a quick demo. We are planning to cover this about this in later. So the tool that I personally use is called Gamma. This is a dedicated AI tool for creating beautiful PPTs. Like you remember when I initially mentioned, like there are jack of all trade like tools and there are specialist tools. So ChatGPT here is a jack of all trade like tool. So it's not perfect. So that's why you are not able to get perfect PPTs. But Gamma is a specialist tool, so that quality will be excellent. So if I click on one such a PPT that I created previously, so this was on dental fluorosis. So when you open this, you can see this one I went for vertical structure. So that's why you are getting vertical designs. You can see beautiful images with detailed write-up and all. If I go for a traditional PowerPoint design, so let me see. So this is on immunization requirement of healthcare workers. So this one we can choose how exactly the layout should be structured. So this is in the traditional format. So you can see this is slide number 1, slide number 2, slide number 3, and so on. So we can even decide how exactly the images should come here, whether it should be realistic, whether it should be hand drawn, like that we can mention. And we can even mention whether the people who generated will be Indians, whether they should be Canadians, like that you can mention. So exactly based on that, it automatically change the images. And there will be beautiful structured format like this. There will be some beautiful visuals. I think I'll see whether any such visuals are there. You can see some beautiful clip arts like this. And there are timelines like this. So it's an excellent one. And finally, when it's done, it can be directly exported as a PPT file. So we are planning to cover PPT generation in a future module. So we will be able to learn that in detail. Right now, we are dealing with ChatGPT. So I was just telling you how exactly you can generate slide decks out of ChatGPT. All right. So let me come back to the session. Now, whenever you are dealing with any AI tool, privacy is a big concern, right? Now, the sad part regarding privacy is most of these AI tools are not transparent to you regarding how exactly it will handle the data that you feed it to this ChatGPT, this AI tool, and the data generated by it. One of the main when you use ChatGPT, it's also one of the main culprit here, because main issue here is there is too much competition between this AI tool, competition between ChatGPT, like Gemini, Grok, and all. So all of the engineers behind this, they want to generate newer and newer models at a very fast rate. To process such fast update generation, they need millions of data with them, right? So that's why they are taking all the data given by the users of this ChatGPT and they are taking it for granted. They are not asking you for permission. Okay. So because of that, in the normal version of ChatGPT, whatever chat you had with ChatGPT or whatever file that you attach with ChatGPT, say you are attaching your Excel sheet, you are attaching a textbook. So if you are not making any modification in its settings to prevent it from using for training. Otherwise, by default, it will be using your whatever files that you attach and whatever chat you had will be used for its own training. Even suppose if you are attaching a photo and trying to convert into a Ghibli style image, then your photo will be also will be used for training. Okay, so that's a really sad part. And whenever you are signing up to ChatGPT for the first time, they are not clearly mentioning you regarding this major privacy flaw. Okay, so I'm really sad that ChatGPT is having such a policy, and there is a way in which you can overcome, like how you can prevent ChatGPT from using your data. So I'll show you that, and this is a mandatory requirement for you, especially since you are from the healthcare field. You will be loading large amount of data to ChatGPT, and we should be really careful that ChatGPT shouldn't be using this particular data for its own training, right? So what you need to do is, this is my ChatGPT window, right? So let me enlarge it a bit more. So in the ChatGPT window, at the bottom left corner, you will see your name with the profile picture. All right. So just click on your name and a menu like this will appear. Okay, you should not right click, you should left click. Okay, and you will be taken to a menu like this, and in that you will see an option called settings. So click on the settings option, and you will be taken to a page like this. It's a detailed settings menu of ChatGPT. There are so many options to choose here. The one we are looking for is this option called data controls. This is the fourth option from the bottom. Okay, so click on data controls. Let me on it first, and I'll show you how exactly it will look like when you are trying it in your device. Okay, so when you're clicking on data controls, you will see an option called improve the model for everyone, which will be in on position. So when you are casually looking at such an option, you won't be understanding like this is actually a way of ChatGPT telling you like we will be using your data for model training, but they are not telling it in a proper way. It is just telling like improve the model for everyone. So you are feeling like, okay, this is a generous process, so let's let them do, improve the model. But actually what they are doing is by turning on this option by default, they are actually using your data to improve its model. So whatever you attach will be used by them. So to prevent it from using this, what you need to do is you click on this on button. Then you will be taken to an option like this, and the improve the model for everyone, that option on the right side, you will see a slider which will be turned on by default, and there will be a blue color here. So you need to click on this blue button, and there nothing will happen for a few seconds, and after around 5 to 6 seconds it will turn off. Okay, so this is a major step when you are using ChatGPT. You need to turn off this feature and click on done, and then you can click somewhere else and it will be turned off. Now this is a one-time process, and if you are turning this off within ChatGPT, say you are using ChatGPT in your browser like this, and you also have your ChatGPT app installed in your mobile phone. So if you are turning this off in your mobile browser, automatically it will get turned off in your mobile app also, because both are linked with the same account. Now if I revisit the same option, settings, data control, and you can see it's now turned off, so that now it's safe for me to attach my data, so that ChatGPT won't be using it for training. Okay, now but sadly this is only one part of the puzzle. There is one more part. That part is you will be attaching a lot of data to ChatGPT, right? And ChatGPT will be saving that data in its database, and there is no way to remove that data from its own database, that central database. Even though it's not used for training, that data is still there, which is again a security risk, right? So many people, so many users of ChatGPT who are really concerned regarding this privacy issue, they started sending messages to ChatGPT to find a solution for this, right? So because of that, ChatGPT introduced something called incognito mode. You know, the incognito mode in browsers like in Chrome, Safari and all, there is an incognito mode. So when you click on incognito mode, like this is the Edge browser, so you can see there's a private window option. So in the incognito mode, when you browse something, whatever that you browse won't be saved in the browser history, and soon after closing that, whatever cookies or whatever files that you automatically download as part of this in the cache, that will be automatically removed, right? Just like that, in the incognito mode of ChatGPT, when you activate it, ChatGPT work just like usual, but whatever file that you attach to ChatGPT, that will be auto deleted from its central memory after 30 days. In addition to that, whatever chat you had in ChatGPT, that won't be auto stored in the left side, just in this area. Okay, so these are the additional layer of security. So the two things here that you need to do is go to the settings and turn off that data used for training option. And second, if you are attaching some sensitive information like your face, like your photo, personal photos, or patient case sheets, or any such sensitive data, always activate the incognito mode. Now to activate the incognito mode, it's very simple. In the ChatGPT window, at the top right corner, you can see a bubble button here with broken lines like this one. And when you hover your mouse over it, it will show like turn on temporary chat. Okay, so click on turn on temporary chat, and you will be like your ChatGPT window will be turned into black color like this. Okay, now this is a incognito mode. Here you can see for safety purpose, we may keep a copy of the chat for 30 days, and files that you attach will be automatically saved for 30 days, and it will be auto deleted after 30 days. And you can attach files just like the previous version. Okay, so that's a temporary chat option, and chat won't be appearing in the history, or it won't be used for its own training. And in order to activate it back to the normal mode, we can simply click on the that bubble again, and it will be taken back to the normal mode. So that's a privacy feature of ChatGPT. So always remember, there are two things that you need to ensure when you are using ChatGPT with very personal or very data that is having very sensitive nature. So always do these two levels of security before using ChatGPT. Okay. Now, okay, so these were those features. Now, this is the most important slide regarding ChatGPT. ChatGPT is really smart with doing so many things. Like just now you had seen, like it was able to create an entire outline for your research jobs and so on. And ChatGPT is almost like a hardworking intern or hardworking assistant for you, which will work 24 hours a day. It's really brilliant. Its IQ is in the range of 120, and it will never complain you making it do so much hard work and all. But only issue with ChatGPT is it occasionally lies to you. Okay, and that's a major issue. So you will be wondering, ChatGPT is so smart, why it's lying to you? Like you might have noticed this previously, like when you are telling ChatGPT to write something which contains some scientific information or some data, some numbers and all. Sometimes some numbers will be wrong, right? So you'll be wondering why it's lying like that. So it's actually based on how ChatGPT functions. So I'll explain it in a simple way so that you will understand the concept. So when they created ChatGPT, what they had done is like they like allowed ChatGPT to read all the information out in the internet, including all the websites, all the textbooks, and all the journal articles. So whatever information it's read, it is actually stored in a hard disk. Okay, it's a huge hard disk that is located in the US. And whenever you are asking, and there are billions of websites out there, so entire information is stored in this central memory. Okay, and like whenever you are asking something to ChatGPT, say write like 1,000 words regarding Canada, something that you are asking, so it will be retrieving this information from the central memory. Now the problem here is, since internet is so broad, so large, there is large amount of data. This even terabytes of data. So whenever it's trying to recall from its central memory, it's too much for it to handle. So whenever it's trying to recall, some amount of information will be recalled from wrong locations. So because of that, when you are telling ChatGPT to write the introduction for an article, it will tell you like there's an article by Michael et al. In 2023 which says prevalence of breast cancer is 6%. And it will even give us a reference also. But when you cross check, there won't be an article by Michael et al. In 2023. Sometimes the name Michael et al. Will be wrong. Sometimes the 2023 is wrong. Sometimes the prevalence given will be wrong. It won't be accurate. Okay. So this type of, but the problem is it will give you the information with so much confidence in so much nice writing style. So you won't be able to decipher which part is wrong and which part is right. So this is almost like hallucinating, right? So when a person is hallucinating, the person is 100% believing that the person what he is telling is right, but it will be completely wrong. Okay, so since it's a type of hallucination, the official term for this lying is, it's also called AI hallucination, because AI is hallucinating things. And sadly, ChatGPT is the most notorious model for AI hallucination. And for the previous models of ChatGPT, which were there a few months back, the amount of hallucination ranges from 10% to 30%. So there will be, suppose if you are writing 1,000 words of content, in that maybe like 4 or 5 lines will be completely wrong. Okay, so because of that, I usually recommend most of my participants like never use ChatGPT for writing your research, like in the normal version of ChatGPT. Okay, not the there are some specialist way in which we can overcome that, but that will be learning later on. But in other ways, never use it for doing research. Never use ChatGPT for getting any medical information, like preparing for some upcoming classes, or suppose if you are planning to learn more about one particular topic, say you are invited to do a lecture in one another workshop or in one area, and you want to do some research, you want to learn more about that particular topic. In that time also, what happened is ChatGPT will give you so much information, and you will read all those, and you will maybe delivering the lecture on that, but some of the information will be inaccurate, so that like others will feel like you are not a trustable person, like that. It can affect your reputation. So never use ChatGPT for that. But there are other tools out there which we'll be seeing later on, tools like Grok and tools like Perplexity, which actually searches internet in real time before giving you the answer. So rather than depending on central memory, it will be grabbing information from the internet and from reliable websites, and assimilate those information, and like create the answer based on the information from these sites. So it will be 100% accurate most of the time. Okay, so that's one way of of overcome this. So always remember, you can use ChatGPT for so many purposes, but never use it for getting reliable information. And one way to overcome this is to attach your own files. Say you are attaching, you are a medical person, you are attaching a PDF version of Harrison, and then asking ChatGPT a question regarding a medical topic and telling it to give answer from the attached textbook exclusively. So then ChatGPT won't be relying its own memory. It will be giving you the answer directly from Harrison. That is one way to overcome that. Another way is a option called deep research. Okay, so we will be seeing deep research in detail later on, but I'll just show you what exactly is deep research. So this is the normal ChatGPT chat area. If you click on the plus option, you will see an option called deep research. And when you activate that, one blue color tag will appear on the chat area called research. And now will you ask some scientific or a medical or some topic that you need a detailed answer on, then ChatGPT will, instead of depending on its own memory, it will do proper research on reliable sources. It will usually go for from sources ranging from 25 to sometimes even 100 websites, and read all those information and give you very accurate information based on this. Okay, so that's another way to overcome the hallucination ChatGPT. Right. So let me show the last slide regarding ChatGPT. So what are the strength, weakness, and practical use of ChatGPT? So strength of ChatGPT is, as you have already seen in my previous challenge, like you can export content directly to Word, Excel, or PowerPoint. We can convert image to table, like the example that you've seen with the class timetable. It is really good with visualization. So you can attach a photo and tell it to convert it into Ghibli style. That you might be familiar with Ghibli style, which was really trending a few months back. Or you can tell it to convert an image into Disney style. In the module 2, we are including large amount of image generation. That time I will teach you how this can be done. And you can, it allows large file attachment. Say you can attach a Harrison textbook up to 512 MB of size. Now the weakness is obviously it's hallucination. But nowadays with the recent model, that is 5.1 model, amount of hallucination has been reduced. It's trying to get information from websites just like Perplexity and all, and trying to reduce hallucination, but still it's 95% accurate. There is still 5% hallucination still there. And you have witnessed like there are two models, thinking model and instant model. So thinking model is better one, but there are daily limits for using the thinking model. And there is a deep research feature that I've shown, like to get accurate information, but that has got some monthly limits. Now, for a practical use of ChatGPT for a medical person, you can brainstorm research topics. You can get really good objectives based on which is exactly based on the topics that you have in your mind. Then you can create lesson plans from images. Like say you want to create a lesson plan for a class that you're planning to take, and you have the entire monthly schedule with you. You can attach the schedule and tell it to create lesson plans based on this schedule, and then export it as a Word file. So it can create elaborate lesson plans. It can create PPT from textbook that I already mentioned. You can create timetables from images. You can create Ghibli art. Then you can create beautiful visualizations. A visualization including scientific visualization. You can create pie charts, bar charts, complex visualizations including heat correlation, heat maps, and so on. So I'll try to cover them in the data analysis module. And finally, it can do excellent data analysis. But the problem here is, there are two modes, instant mode and thinking mode. Instant mode data analysis is not that accurate, but thinking mode data analysis is really good. It can even do the sample size calculation also. Okay. And there are dedicated tools which are created exclusively for data analysis with 100% accuracy. Tools like Julius AI, Quadratic AI, and Formula Board, they are excellent in analysis. But ChatGPT can also be used, but always remember it's not a specialist tool. So whatever it creates, it's always recommended to cross check it with one of the statistical analysis tool like RStudio or SPSS. All right. So that's the gist of all the things regarding ChatGPT. I'm sure that you learned some of the new things regarding ChatGPT, and I'm sure that you will be able to, like from now on, you will approach ChatGPT with a better idea, and you will be able to utilize ChatGPT to its full potential. So thank you.